virtual games?
I'm Cassidy. As Julia mentioned, I'm project manager from PANews and PANONY. So today we have three very important guests here, Adam, Miles, and Eiji. Could you please tell us about yourselves? Can we start with Adam?
Yeah, I'm Adam. I lead partnerships at Decentraland. Smart contract romantic at heart, East Maxi, and have enjoyed anything to do with blockchain for several years now. My background's in intellectual property rights. I worked at Warner Brothers, leading DC Comics and Harry Potter within the consumer products division. But yeah, excited to be here and talk about the metaverse.
Next, can we have Miles?
Hey guys, I'm founder and CEO of Decentral Games. I think I'm going to get an echo a little bit. There we go. We make metaverse games. The one we recently launched is called Ice Poker. It's a play-to-earn poker game in the metaverse, free to play. And basically, you're able to play poker each day for around 3 to 4 hours and earn ice tokens. And so, yeah, we've been just scaling that and growing the community quite a bit over the last 2 months since we launched it.
Okay, can we have Eiji, please?
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Eiji from Reality. The Reality is the owned by Gree. The Gree is one of the Japanese mobile gaming company, and I have been working at Gree since it is just 5 people, so almost 15 years ago. But now we have around 2,000 people, so it's a big company. And the Reality is the avatar-based live streaming platform on the smartphone. So today we have millions of users. They have their own avatar and they live stream or talk each other in real time with the motion capture just by one smartphone. So that is our version of the smartphone metaverse.
Wow. So speaking of 3D avatar, can we talk about how how 3D avatar live streaming evolved into metaverse, where millions of people that we live in?
Yeah, the avatar, the platform has been around for years, since maybe 20 years ago. It has been a 2D based text chat avatar communication platforms. But today, we have more powerful smartphone, which can visualize the 3D based, and also the avatar can move based on your face, and then also you can live stream by your voice. So it's all real time. And also you can feel the kind of physical presence of your body. And also you can jump into the 3D world to meet other users. And also you can create something, or you can sing a song on the stage, and then you can still get the virtual gifting, which turns out you can earn money, real money on the platform. So it is the combination of avatar, entertainment, communication, and also even for the creator economy.
Yeah, seems like avatar is the foundation for reality. How about for Decentraland? How does avatar plays a role in the game or in the metaverse?
Yeah, so Decentraland is a social platform. Every day its users enter the world to meet up, play games, attend live events, trade in the marketplace, engage with brands, visit galleries, and much more. The virtual experience is obviously an extension of what we know today in terms of the everyday social platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat, etc., where avatars are representative to people's users, and it's just that natural extension. I do think it's super intriguing when we talk about blockchain technology and the interoperability of NFTs and what that may mean within a virtual world. Today we see someone with an NFT that is uniquely theirs as digital ownership. That means that maybe that their wearable is only theirs within their own backpack. That level of scarcity can allow different types of trade value, but at its core, it's just a personal choice of what someone wants to wear and what someone doesn't want to for the benefits that it may provide, which I think Miles can definitely, I've probably given you a bit of a segue to discuss some of the things that he does. But I do, yeah, at its core, you know, the unique attributes to someone's avatar, whatever they may wear, is representative of themselves in the virtual world, and that driven by
will grow into, since there's so many utilities and functions for users to play with and to utilize in the platform. How about for Decentral games? How do you utilize like the 3D avatar on your platform?
Yeah, so we actually built all of our games in Decentraland. It's really the only option if you want to build an open metaverse with an SDK with functionality to build custom experiences, and be hosted on several different nodes, hosted around the world. So it was a no-brainer for us to build our games in Decentraland, and by doing that, we inherited a lot of really cool features that around avatars and social features that we didn't have to develop in-house, like them being, the actual wearable items, being able to develop those wearables and have them immediately work and, animate with the avatar as they move around or emote. That's huge. And then obviously the names and the list goes on. But in particular for our product, the Play to Earn Poker game, you have to actually have a specific wearable item in order to participate. And so we've done a few drops of these items. We typically drop them for around $1,000, and we've sold around a little over 3,250 about so far. Tomorrow we're doing another drop, and so the demand has been pretty wild for the items though, because of the yield that they are able to generate. So in our game, if you have one of these NFT wearable items that you can wear, on your avatar, then you're able to participate in a poker tournament essentially to play. So but with those chips, you can achieve daily challenges in poker, and based on your score on the leaderboard, you can earn a multiplier. So you actually earn real money. And so our community of players roughly earns around, given the current market conditions, around $50 to $140 per day, just playing our games for around 3 to 4 hours a day. So the demand is definitely there given the yields, and for some folks in certain areas the world, like that money is much higher than an average job that they would find, in the world outside of the metaverse. And so we've seen a lot of interest in a lot of people wanting to seek that yield. And with that, we do have the option for people that own these NFTs to kind of essentially rent them out to another user. And so by doing so, we have like a revenue share. So the owner gets 30% of the rewards, and then the player gets 70%. And so this way, people have actually been able to accumulate quite a large amount of these wearable items, and then kind of basically lend them to folks that are willing to play and want to play for the yield. And so it's kind of a win-win. And we've kind of seen this structure kind of happen naturally with guilds forming, in the industry. And so for us, by seeing that structure kind of form naturally, we wanted to basically build it into the base layer of our game and our platform, so that all the value kind of stays in the ecosystem. And so for our game, the wearable and the avatar played a huge role.
Okay, sounds good. Are you planning to collab with like virtual celebrities or influencers in your metaverse?
We've talked to a few so far. I think Adam probably could talk a bit more on collabs with celebrities and big brands, because we haven't really done too many yet in terms of collabs on the wearables end. Like, we pretty much have just developed all of our wearables in-house because there's just so much demand for them, and we sell them out instantly, each one of our drops, just because of the yield generation opportunity. And so we haven't really had the need to do any partner drops, just because also with partner drops, you obviously have to split the proceeds. And so, for our partnerships, we mainly have done just partner venues like with Bored Ape Yacht Club and Atari and a few others. But I'm sure Adam can talk to some pretty big celebrities and partnerships with his with Decentraland.
I like how like on the slides, like and the Atari and Bored Ape Yacht Club are part of what Decentral Games have been able to produce. It's not a small feat. And one, because Atari were probably one of the largest IPs at the time to enter the space and do something within the NFT blockchain community, and Bored Apes is near top in terms of desirability of an NFT project. So Miles done well in terms of integrating his products within the community, as well as what he's done with his wearables. But I think it's interesting to see different celebrities engage in different ways, especially with the NFT community as a whole. Decentraland being on blockchain has a crypto native community. One may say it's hard to know, but it looks like there's a 60-40 split between digital wallets to guest users that don't sign up. And yeah, so we've partnered with different brands as a collective, and Coca-Cola launched their NFT within and their promotional activities through Decentraland. It's like an oversized can where there was a DJ set on top of the lid, which is a cool experience. IP like Sotheby's, a 250-year-old auction house, now resides in Decentraland and showcases different exhibitions. We've had recently a metaverse festival where we hosted 80 different musicians across the world, and with 5 different stages over 4 days, and the likes of Deadmau5 and Paris Hilton, working with either companies like Genies or directly through third parties that have developed motion capture performances. I think at the end of the day, it's personal taste and personal preference and how people connect. And like I said before, being a social platform at its core, and having a whole heap of different initiatives and activities under the umbrella of what that may mean. People can play games, people can do exhibitions, they can have panels, etc. It's just a way to connect with a new community, and it's the virtual world that really lends itself on the escapism that you can't get from my latest topic at the moment. It's like the meat world, the physical world of what we deal with outside of the virtual space, seeing that we spend so much time in that. But, like how to connect in different ways that you may not be able to do with the limitations of what the physical world may be, if that's lockdowns and COVID, or the fact that, you can really create something that elevates and amplifies the experience of being a musician or a performer. It's really endless. I do think that the avatars and what you wear are a big important part to how people can represent themselves. But as celebrities, I think, or people with influence, it's just connecting with either new communities or adding value to existing ones that the platform really allows that to happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. By collaborating with celebrities and influencers, I think you can definitely bring on their fans onto the platform. Besides the crypto native users, this is definitely another big step for metaverse. How about for Eiji, for reality? I think you're muted.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. So we sometimes collaborate with the celebrities. That the unique thing for us is that because we are avatar-based community, so we collaborate with the virtual influencers. So, for example, there are a lot of the virtual streamers, or called virtual YouTubers. They have millions of YouTube subscribers, and then popular in the US and Japan and Southeast Asia. And we sometimes collaborate with them. For example, we have our own official virtual music concerts created by us and hosted by us on our platform. And then those popular virtual influencers or virtual singers, they just appeared in the stage and then sing and perform. And then interact with their audience. So that kind of the virtual entertainment show we host several times. And then also other example is that collaborate with the brands. So for example, we collaborate with the Sanrio, the character brand, the Hello Kitty. So for example, in our metaverse, we dropped the kind of limited collection features the Sanrio characters. So for example, the hoodies printed with the Hello Kitty, and then like a dress or hats or other items designed with those Sanrio characters. So the users can wear those brands and also talk to others, and also even gather each others within the 3D world with the same Sanrio fonts. So that's kind of a combination of brands and shows and commercials and even for the communications. So that's the new form of the brand collaboration within the metaverse.
Okay, yeah, it's very interesting seeing like how we can use physical items in game like on metaverse, so we can bring in more users. Can we talk about like how you view about open metaverse and NFT culture both in life and work?
Sure, I think it's very open discussion. In particular, if I was look at from Decentraland's perspective for an open source platform, we believe that there's a cross metaverse opportunity for those that want to play within it. It's not just for one, and I don't think we base ourselves on decentralization, but at the same time, we're completely open to whoever owns land. It's empowered by the community. They can build and create whatever they may want. They're not limited by the token that we have being Mana. Miles can integrate his own ERC20 token into the platform alongside any other ERC20, so you can play with Ethereum, Mana, or DG. So I think at the end of the day, an open metaverse allows for true interoperability of NFTs and blockchain and digital ownership. We're big believers in it, and we look at ways to help and explore the realms of what might be the virtual worlds at this point in time and into the future. In terms of NFT culture, I think it's a big thing. I wanted to talk about it just quickly. We talked about celebrities, but I think creators is at its core the success of what we can do within the platform. That may be a graphic designer or an artist of digital art to physical. It could be a 3D modeler to a voxel architect. And I think art and technology where it meets within blockchain is truly special. But what we've seen in terms of digital ownership and those that see the benefits in it, really great rewards out of experience, within virtual worlds themselves. So, I think we're just, evolving and learning with where our technology is today, and exploring and creating case studies of what may work and what may not. Nothing's ever perfect, but our vision is that we're inspired by the community that work and create and experience things within our platform, and we're here to continue to build and inspire them to be able to do those things independently and not have to rely on the platform itself. So from an open metaverse perspective, I think if we take all our learnings of what we've had to deal with in our lives thus far in terms of data management, ownership, and the rest, I think we're on the way forward. I think those that close their gates will be limited in different ways, challenging. But for us, we're open, and we want to be able to explore and see different realms of how that may work.
Yeah, definitely. I think just to add a bit on that, the open metaverse pitch is just so clear. Having built DG, because we just use so many different platforms that are open, and by design they're kind of They allow us to use them exactly how we intended, and we don't need to essentially build like everything from scratch. For example, like our 3D client, that's Decentraland. Like obviously we've coded it into this SDK, but like the serving and hosting of all that content is done through the Decentraland's network of nodes. We run one of the nodes, or two of the nodes actually, but it is nice to kind of, have that sorted. Another thing is Matic, Polygon network. It's a side chain. We use that for our assets in game to build a side chain. I mean, Sky Mavis did it, but it's quite a feat, and because it's open, it's nice for us to be able to just deploy stuff as we need to that side chain and use it and track ownership of assets and NFTs or tokens for our community, and not have to custody those ourselves or manage them in any way for our users and players. And then something as simple as like OpenSea, being able to use that marketplace or Decentraland marketplace, being able to use these open marketplaces to allow our community to buy and sell items. For us, it allows us to really focus on what we feel that is our competitive advantage. Really is just building the best like play to earn poker game in the metaverse, and not have to worry about building all these other things like a side chain or a marketplace or like a 3D client, stuff like that. And so I think by building in the open metaverse, you definitely get to leverage a lot of tools that are like Adam said, like interoperable, that add a lot of value. And so when you give your community the ability to take value out of the platform and bring it to another platform, trade it for something else, buy it on another platform, bring it into your platform, it just kind of creates a net positive, I would say, compared to a closed ecosystem.
Definitely. How about NFT culture? Like as a poker game, play to earn poker game, how do you view, what's your view on NFT culture?
I think it's, in general, yeah. I mean, I think the NFT culture and community is really interesting. It's just getting started, and it is a core of our offering, really. And so, yeah, I mean, obviously, you're going to attract like speculators. You're going to attract people that use them. You're going to attract collectors that want to just hoard them and then earn yield by lending them out to players. And we've had all of those kind of pop up in our community. In terms of NFT culture, though, obviously, there's some good and some bad, but I think it's exciting to be building in the space, and to get feedback from folks that are well versed in NFTs. Mm-hmm. So I would say we embrace the NFT culture, and we welcome the NFT communities to participate.
Yeah. How about for reality from Eiji?
Yeah, I'm very passionate and also excited about the NFT culture and community. And I personally created the NFT art and sold it, and also I buy and trade. But for the reality, it has started as a more traditional closed metaverse back in maybe 4 years ago. So we designed a platform not for crypto community or not for NFT. So it is more traditional Web 2.0 way. So now I'm considering how we can open up the platforms to the crypto and the metaverse community step by step. Not everything at once, because it will be very disruptive. So we slowly experiment those metaverse interoperability. So for example, we partnered with the Huang metaverse, VR metaverse called Cluster. The Cluster is the one of the Japanese VR metaverse. So with that partnership, how does it work is that the users who created the avatar on the reality platform, and also they are user of reality, so they can export their own avatar into the cluster, and then they can just jump into the cluster world with their the avatar. So that caused a lot of interesting moments. For example, So because reality is the avatar-based communities, there are lots of friendships or partnerships within the platform. So after they found the avatar export feature to the cluster, so they planned and also organized event. Like for example, let's go to the kind of flower garden in the cluster, or let's go into the karaoke room in the cluster. And then they went to the cluster and then just enjoy and the mingle and have a fun time in the cluster. And then after enjoying some time, they came back to the reality. Then they chat each other's. So that was fun. That was very funny moment. That kind of experience. So yeah, that is one of the kind of hint or opportunity how we can create a much fun experience for the users when we interoperable. When we support the interoperability with other metaverse.
Yeah, that's definitely bringing like what we do physically to the metaverse online. Speaking of this, can we talk about how remote and hybrid work business models, especially for Decentraland, how people can look for jobs, having a job, going to a job fair on the platform?
There's many different ways. I think, in Web3 in general, there's so much demand at the moment. But like we recently hosted a job fair. I think it was a few months ago now. It feels. I think it was in September, to be honest. But not too different from what you would expect in the physical space, where you would attend and there would be educational processes and applications that could be done via a build and experience within some land. It's something that we're exploring, and landowners are exploring themselves as part of the community. We've run different panels and experiences about education around NFTs and different cultures and community as well, which can then lead to different networks. But I personally have seen a community within Discord and Twitter that are connected via just being social within the platform, able to create their own job offerings, which is super humbling to see as part of the ecosystem. There's more to come. I know that there's lots of different virtual head offices as such, and how people will start to explore them and use them. We're in obviously a high build phase at the moment, so the case studies are relatively thin, but I'm seeing different entities enter the space and wanting to explore how that may work in terms of not only education about the property or brand itself, but how to explore and understand that. How to explore and understand further than what they may be able to get out of a standard Web 2.0 website. But yeah, the job fair, I wasn't too close to it because at the time I was working on a consensus MetaMask event that was celebrating like 10 million users. But I do remember it happening at a very similar time. And, it's humbling to see that people are connecting with that and are intrigued enough. We run an events page that, different community members host different events. Some may be for jobs, others may be for networking. I do see a definite alignment with what may be the LinkedIn that we're used to today, and how people can connect and network themselves into a space of like-minded individuals. I don't know if Miles has seen it on his side when people are playing poker, but I imagine the conversations would be flowing. But Decentraland itself, the foundation, which is what I work with, support the community through and through. We're scaling, we're building, and some of our content team come directly from the Discord community directly. So, and that's frequently happened over the last few years. So, yeah, I think whilst we evolve and learn and explore the realms of Web3, Decentraland will be used in multiple different ways that we haven't even seen yet as well. So I'm looking forward to what that may look like in the future.
Yeah, especially with the ongoing COVID, it will be another place for people to connect and to network. Yeah. How about for Miles? What do you think about the remote? Can you share your views on this remote and hybrid work business models?
Yeah, definitely. From the beginning of DG, we've just been all remote. We've had a few sessions, a couple of weeks or a month or so where a few of us have gotten together and worked in the same location. I personally like remote work. I just do my best work when I have no distractions. But it is nice to get some FaceTime with people. So, we do try to make it a point to meet up with some of the team members if we're in the same city. And so, yeah, I mean, kind of one interesting angle is we actually employ like 25 people that actually just work in Decentraland. So they're like community like hosts essentially. So they play with the players, interact with them, help them on board. So it's kind of like a support team, but way more hands-on and more social because they're basically their job is to be helpful to anyone in any way, like that's in our community, and people are hanging out in Decentraland, so that they're kind of like checking into Decentraland for certain shifts in a day, kind of like a brick and mortar business is run. So that is an interesting angle. And then I think overall, I do think Web3 and metaverse is just at the start of kind of redefining what work is like online. I think working for a company or a project is obviously one thing that we're familiar with, but since we've launched our Play to Earn poker game, there's several people that have like created their own businesses within our ecosystem. Starting from playing as a player with a delegated NFT and earning, $50 a day. And then, graduating enough, getting enough tokens to then mint their own and then earn 100% of the tokens and then minting another one and then delegating that one out to the next person. And then it kind of starts over the cycle. And people have been kind of, starting to build these like mini businesses that are cash flow positive that, are pay a lot more money than they would be making if, they got a job in their area. So it's been creating a lot of opportunity for folks in our community. And it's been really cool to see that. And as people kind of continue to scale all those out. So of our 3,000, I mean, it's pretty small right now just because we launched two months ago. So out of the 3,000 people, I do think a large chunk of them are actually, playing ice poker, DG ice poker for almost like a living, to pay their expenses. So, when I view like the employment of our organization, I do feel that it like kind of encompasses much more than our core team of only 43 plus the 25 hosts. I kind of view it as we're building something for several thousands of people that are, earning from right now. And, we want to scale it to millions. So I think some of these play to earn economies will undoubtedly be like a huge driver for compensating people for work, essentially, which is, essentially playing the games. And so, I think this next year is going to be interesting because I think a lot of these ecosystems will go live and grow like us. So I'm excited to see how it all plays out.
Really fair point, isn't it? Like, what's employment today? And, is it just to earn? And there's multiple different ways to it. Miles makes a great point as well. Like, obviously here I am in Melbourne, Australia. I think I'm the only one in Asia Pac. But, like the Wild West, it doesn't really rest and sleep. So, we do what we need to do to get through. But, the rest of the team are across the world, and it's only been a few different conferences that people have been able to get together outside of a offsite that happened a couple of years ago that I wasn't part of. But, the team function on Slack and a whole heap of different Google Meets every day, and it seems to work. One common goal and interest and, that sort of makes the team chemistry what it is, which is super empowering to be part of. So, I think, as part of the community and to see the community sort of evolve and either earn from doing things within the platform to maybe owning digital assets. I did forget about the other side of the employment for a quick second, and I think that play to earn concept, or just earn in general for your time, is at its core what work sometimes can be to some people. So yeah, super intriguing, and can't wait to see what happens in 2022 and beyond.
It definitely creates an infinite opportunities for people all around the world. When I search up Decentral games, I see a lot of videos about people making life-changing money from the poker games. So yeah, it's only like 3,000 users on the platform right now. I think it would definitely grow exponentially. How about from Eiji? Can you? I think you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So as a company, we have physical office located in Tokyo, but in the last 2 years, we have been working almost full remotely. So recently we hire people from outside Tokyo, and then so now we are gradually evolving as an organization into a more remote-based corporation. And then for the platform, so as I said, reality, it is part of the platform is the creator economy. We have features where people can live stream, and then some are doing some performance, and then they can get money. And then we have already hundreds of people who can earn money for living. So even for the Japanese economy, not the Southeast Asia, but it is still limited. So I imagine that with the integration of the crypto economy, so the kind of borderline between employee and the community or users will be more blurred. So some active community users can contribute to the platform or services, and then they can get earning. They can earn money, maybe by fiat or maybe by cryptocurrencies. So and then even they can use the crypto asset to lend to others, or staking or other form of the kind of financial mechanics. So there will be a lot of styles of working, and also there will be a lot of styles of the how you make money. So with the crypto economy, so that's most exciting for me.
Yeah. So after learning so much about reality, Decentraland, and also Decentral games, can we talk about how a day in the life for a regular consumer in many aspects like work, social, entertainment, shopping, how does it integrate in all these aspects? Eiji, can you start first, please?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I have seen a lot of interesting thing on our platform.
Mm-hmm.
For example, now heavy users, they use reality for several hours, around 5 hours, 6 hours a day. So they kind of literally they live on the reality.
Yeah.
So with that lifestyles, especially currently, many people stay home, so they stopped buying clothes, real clothes, because they don't want people outside, and then they don't go out. They don't go out, but they buy avatar items on reality, because that's the place they meet other people. That's the place they see each others. So the consumption of the physical clothes is gradually shifting towards the virtual apparels. So that's the one example. But as well as we stay more time in the digital space, so we will the consumption, the money consumption will be evolving into the more digital driven. That's the kind of shift of the economy I see.
Mm-hmm. very interesting how reality is going to become in the next year in 2022, since the gaming culture and community is extremely strong in Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How about Miles? For Decentral games, what can you describe? Like you talked about how users can spend like 4 to 5 hours a day playing, spending on the poker games. How would you describe like a day in the life for a regular consumer on your platform?
So yeah, I would say they just they check in at the start of the day, and then they're assigned 3 challenges. All of the challenges are generally achievable within 3 or 4 hours of gameplay. There's one easy, one medium, and one hard. And by achieving all 3 of them, they earn 330 ice, which is roughly $70 or so right now. And then if they perform well, they're incentivized to perform well or win in poker, even though it's free play. And so if they win, and are in the top 5%, then they get 2x that. So they can earn like $140, $150 a day. And so, yeah, I think they're mainly in our ecosystem. They're just playing the game. And so then it resets every day. So we just want them to keep coming back. Sometimes people achieve their challenges and make the money, in an hour or 2, or sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but generally it's like around 3 or 4 hours a day. And since we do have so many concurrent users now, and it's continuously growing as we do more drops, we are looking into ways to kind of make it a bit more engaging, because we are, after all, just kind of a gaming project, an organization. And we have done like some entertainment just to kind of as like a user acquisition strategy. But now that we do have a large amount of concurrence, several hours a day, 24/7 concurrence, but, people playing for several hours a day. We do want to add kind of more, areas of entertainment or ways of kind of engaging them apart from the game, which, has had great engagement though by itself. So, in the future, yeah, we're definitely looking to integrate kind of our 2 like entertainment side of the project with like the ice poker play earn side, and deliver that. So then I would say after that's kind of integrated, they'll be consuming like, the content that we are able to deliver. And then, some people, trade and go kind of essentially go shopping, as you said, for the items. And so there's constant, demand and trading of those items like on OpenSea.
Yeah, entertainment industry is huge, like especially for casinos and games. So it will be interesting to see if you have more games coming up, or how the poker games is going to expand to like the rest of the metaverse users. How about for Decentraland? How about for Adam?
Yeah, Miles is just one use case out of many different experiences that, landowners, integrate within their land, and deploy. I think, ultimately, someone can wake up and look at the event page and decide that they want to explore one particular thing, or, that they may be coming back on a more frequent basis because there's incentive to do so by some landowner that is hosting a particular event. If it's Miles's events, or if it's another play to earn initiative. I think there's a definite interesting trend around proof of attendance protocols. I reflect back to some of my favorite concerts that I'd been to, and may have kept a festival lanyard or a ticket that I may have been to for a particular event. It's a similar sort of concept where a user can get recognized for participating or attending an event that might have some historic value. That could be Sotheby's first ever exhibition, to a particular show that a musician's played, or a Christmas event that may have just happened as well. I think there's some really intriguing ways. We're just exploring and seeing what that does. But at the core of what we do, we're here to inspire the community to, enjoy what they have to create on their land, or the experiences that they may be able to deliver, or enjoy the enjoy the different and broad events that are showcased every day within the platform itself. We're privy to the fact that, we've sold our land 4.5 years ago, and that it's now up to the community to do what they can do with their land. And we're just here to try and provide the tools to be able to do so, and the support internally as a team to be able to help on board those that are interested and intrigued to do so. So, I think, in time there'll be more different options. There's going to be a whole heap of different experiences. And that would hopefully incentivize someone to come back on a regular occasion to enjoy their time in the platform, if that's from earning or if that's just from entertainment value. So a nice happy medium or an equilibrium will be met at some point, I'd like to think.
Yeah. It's interesting to see how everything integrates, every aspect for work, life, social, entertainment, and shopping integrates into one place, and having a land to do whatever the users wishes to do. So it will be very exciting to see what's coming next. Yeah. So thank you everyone for sharing today. We hope 2022 will be a big year for Metaverse.